This video is intended to describe a lightblade wand named Abundance. Joining me today will be my whimsical stick figure chakra map, which will be utilizing quite a bit for various chakra simulation references for the different crystals seen here that are quite vast as a quick preface. So once again, that's the chakra map I'll be employing for reference. Then over here are pieces I'll eventually get to for auxiliary purposes. Once this video is completed, they'll be installed. And without further ado, getting straight into it. The first aspect I will discuss will be the primary blade band scaffolding, seen much like so, vaguely resembling a figure 8 to be the governing bandwidth of the energies recirculating for the entire energy of this device for a closed-loop reactive circuit. Once again, like a figure 8, to be the perpetual recirculated energetic momentum of the entirety of the device, to be the scaffolding of the blade bands seen right here, which will of course work to direct and recirculate and govern all the excess crystals seen right here. And without further ado, I'll discuss the transmutation ratio first, consisting of both hematite and smoky quartz in ignition sequence, going like so, offset all the way underneath this lovely green leather to this lateral band, seen right like so, recirculating all the way up to here. Then even by where the main heart or engine of the construct would be once again the transmutation ratio, recirculating this entire aspect of this part of the figure 8. So the aspect of hematite serves as an iron-based extreme grounder of all excess energies through the root chakra into the earth stars, into the earth for reprocessing, in tandem with smoky quartz to provide the same energetic stimulation pathway. Hence the two of them together is deemed the transmutation ratio. To smoky quartz, once again, like hematite, will take all excess energy and firmly ground it through the root chakra into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing. Hence the transmutation of energy, of turning negativity into positivity by firmly anchoring into the earth, by discharging any stagnant or static energies that are not of ideal configuration, get rapidly discharged. So that plays many different roles for this construct. Obviously, it's very helpful to have a very strong grounding foundational scaffolding, which will encourage, of course, all these exotic higher frequency components seen right here to have a strong grounding scaffolding to enter the earth plane to make the magic real, and of course bring a strong tangibility continuity of grounding this energy into reality, quite simply, while purifying the system at the same time. So that'd be, once again, the entirety of the transmutation ratio runs laterally like so, up down this leather right here, concealed by this point, this lovely green leather, which is indeed purposeful more than aesthetics, then recirculating right here to contain that part of the field. And so the primary blade band seen right here is what is dubbed the abundance ratio. And at this time of this video, there have been 28 predecessors in operational status and distribution, so this indeed makes it the 29th entry to this particular frequency output that has now gone into wide distribution. Starting right here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clear quartz specifically to be the aspect of 8, which is the numerological equivalency of abundance, by design to be a neutral accelerant of the energy going into the abundance ratio, starting off with emerald, the quintessential heart chakra stimulant of notoriety and antiquity, hence it's quite literally a precious stone anybody's heard of, even if they're not crystal enthusiasts. So the aspect of emerald is the most impeccable green ray abundance spectrum generated in the mineral kingdom, hence its great utilization and, of course, reverence throughout history of humanity. Going into rutilated quartz to work as a massive accelerant of energy with bands of rutile inside the quartz, which works as a neutral ambient accelerant of energy, but the rutile works to supercharge or turbocharge the entire ignition sequence. To once again be part of the sequence to intensify the abundance output seen right here. Going into peridot. Peridot is a fantastic third and fourth chakra stimulant equivalency of growth, or basically a crystalline equivalency to the frequency of chlorophyll, which is growth, which of course now all this is possible. And so that aspect of the two together makes quite the dramatic expansion of that abundance frequency wavelength. Then going into golden healer quartz, which is a very special crystal which actually aligns one's personal heart to the emanation heart of source creation itself. So obviously, metaphysically speaking, that's quite self-advantageous to have direct source alignment of the particular green ray heart chakra terrestrial stimulation of the physical heart to align one with their divine blueprint, essentially, which is their natural God-given abundance that transcends the conceptual programming of scarcity and adversity that is naturally human experience. So it's one thing to have a great exaggeration of these two frequencies with the source intensification. Then this is employed right here strategically of moss green agate. Agates and jaspers, for that matter, are the most stable vibrations in the mineral kingdoms. So the aspect of moss green agate is a green ray, water elemental, stabilizer of the heart chakra, virtually unrivaled in the mineral kingdom for its ability to essentially stabilize the source of physical and non-physical circulation through the entire system. So by having that particular frequency right here with the great intensification of these natural frequency crystals of abundance, brings a strong stabilization contact patch to ensure the wavelength of this emanation of abundance is quite stably aligned with the physical auric field template to once again encourage the smooth transition of making the magic real. Going back into rutilated quartz, emerald, golden healer quartz, peridot, rutilated quartz, and moss green agate, and so on, until it goes back into the 8 clear quartz seen right here, which is actually grounded into the transmutation scaffolding, which would basically be the entirety of the primary figure 8 of the energy recirculating at constant energetic perpetual momentum to, of course, make the energy of this entire construct run very efficiently in a reactive closed-loop circuit. And this lateral band right here, which I'll mention right now since I'm still on the blade band dissertation, consists of kunzite, which is a lovely pink ray, lithium-based extreme soother of the heart, going into nice old clear quartz to be a neutral accelerant of the energy into purple lepidolite. Lepidolite is a fantastic lithium-potassium-based crystal of extreme soothing to the physical and emotional bodies. And so perhaps also why it's employed right here, it is perhaps the most effective anti-anxiety frequency crystal I've ever utilized with great success and a great prolific utilization. So that aspect of having extreme soothing to the natural aspect of abundance is very complementary to bring a very calming, soothing, relaxing frequency to one's divine inheritance of abundance, essentially, in this rendition. So of course, once again, kunzite, clear quartz, lepidolite, clear quartz, kunzite, and so on till it completes its sequence, which of course this is grounded into the primary wire. So the aspect of the primary wire consisting of brass, silver, and copper together, spooled together with a drill, essentially serves as the main vein. So any aspect of these other frequencies seen right here are all grounded into the central primary wire right here, which goes throughout the entire construct to be the scaffolding main vein of the entire device to generate vibrational compound interest. And so in that aspect also, it serves as the containment of all these other exotic frequencies about to be mentioned, which for the hood section, seen right here, which is quite vast for its dynamic scope and scale of vibrational effectivity and diversification utilization, basically. So, before I discuss the components of the hood right here, once this video is notarized and all these guys are talked about and discussed for one comprehensive dissertation video, this white leather hood will be installed right like so for far more than an aesthetic purpose, as well as the rose quartz flower of life being a very powerful prominent badging of sacred geometric patterns literally found in all aspects of creation we live in. So the aspect of the white hood seen right here has much more than aesthetic purposes. So it's also a white ray frequency that will actually take the 7 rays of the rainbow spectrum and encourage the full stimulation of that energy. B, it would also work to insulate and condense all the energy of this whole area, so all these different various components are not leaking energy, so it's more efficient, insulated to run perpetually, basically make it run more efficient, as well as a way to protect all these subtle stones terminated in this entire engine section so they do not run away, because of course you don't want organs coming off of, or parts off a car or organs off a being to run away. So this will also serve to protect all these things while it's living happily ever after with the recipient and her family, essentially. So that's quite a critical component, and of course it also does provide an aesthetic completion look, which is very nice at the end of the day. But if it is far more than aesthetics, it definitely is a functional part of the whole construct. With also, once again, rose quartz being a quintessential love frequency alignment stimulation, that it also once again has the sacred geometric pattern of the flower of life, literally found in the blueprints of all creation, which makes for a very nice alignment attunement there as well. So that'd be the whole description of the hood out of the way. Now I'll get straight into the main engine, where a lot of the different variety of crystals are placed for intentional purpose. Okay. So down here, this is a Lemurian clear quartz to be the main heart or engine of the entire construct. Clear quartz is very neutrally ambient with resonance of impulses of prayer, for example, so that makes for the nice neutral ambient heart to, of course, have the natural vibration be ambiently charged through the entire construct. Then down here is star argonite. Star argonite is a fantastic calcium-based full light body activator that rapidly but very gently clears any stagnant patterns from the auric field from bottom to top that be interfering with one's highest light body configuration, which basically means any kind of stagnancies impeding the field's natural healthy flow, that would be factory blueprint settings, is very well addressed by this particular frequency of any kind of clearing of impediments that would be basically bad energy, that would be dispelled, that basically, of course, manifests as physical goodness, and the different spectrums that applies to. And so that aspect right there is why it's so prominent. Even when this will be installed, this will be exposed to have a very strong aspect of its placement to be a constant vibration of soothing, healing, good vibrations, to keep it quite simple. Then down here is a very complicated crystal to discuss its function in a rational, coherent, linear fashion, but I do my best to refine it, for it is quite crucial in my life's work for its diverse effectivity of this crystal called smoky celestial quartz. So smoky quartz, like mentioned before in the transmutation ratio seen on the blade banding right here, is very effective for rapidly dispelling negativity by firmly anchoring into the earth for reprocessing so it doesn't stick to the auric field. But the aspect of the celestial quartz, the growth structure called celestial, has a very interesting dynamic alignment effect when engaged with the... Okay, I'll do my best to keep it very simplistic and consolidated, but here we go. So the celestial structure works as a very powerful adaptogen of frequency whoever engages this construct. So of course the primary engager of the construct, the vibration pitch of this entire construct, will adhere and match the resonance of the primary wielder. Then if somebody else holds it, such as her daughter for example, this frequency pitch will actually align the calibration of the entire device to resonate very adaptably to whoever wields it. And so it makes it a very reactive crystal that also serves like a surge protector to ensure the frequency pitch of the entire group of crystals in this device work in synergy and harmony for the highest good and most comfortable grounded vibration without having a very tremendously energetic, overwhelming sensation. That is the aspect too. It makes it very reactive and adaptive to the requirements of the higher self-alignment of whoever engages it. It gets quite meta, but that kind of sums it up. But once again, it's like a surge protector that ensures the frequency pitch of this entire construct is getting a very balanced regulation and a harmonization to ensure the highest frequency pitch is aligned with the harmony of the recipient. Okay. So this next section I'll discuss in one shot, for they are quite crucial for playing off each other in vibrational sequence. Starting off with the agates and jaspers, all seen right here. So for that matter, agates and jaspers, like mentioned earlier, are the most stable vibrational equivalents of the elemental spectrums in the mineral kingdom. Starting off with red jasper, earth elemental frequency, most stabilizing root chakra system in the mineral kingdom. Then going into fire agate, the most stabilized fire elemental stimulant of stabilizing the root, sacrum, and solar plexus chakras. Then going into moss green agate once again, like seen in the blade band right here, to be the quintessential water elemental stabilization of the heart chakra, fourth chakra. Then going into blue lace agate seen right here, the quintessential water elemental stabilization of the fifth chakra. Then this is grape agate, which is a violet rape wind elemental stabilization of the sixth and seventh chakras, which should be wind. So thereby containing the unified elements of what could be considered the terrestrial Lakota medicine wheel, the four directions of earth, fire, water, and wind, are represented here to stabilize those elemental spectrums through the entire energy field. Then going right here is another master healer I employ quite religiously, particularly in a trifecta of seraphinite, Tibetan black quartz, and star argonite, for they do pretty much the same energy pathway function of stimulation to the auric field. By Tibetan quartz, just like this guy, works to stimulate the entire energy body from ground up, and any kind of impediments that be rapidly discharged that are not of one's highest blueprint. So that's a very fantastic crystal from Tibet, but makes for a very nice full light body activator as well. Then going into seraphinite, since I'm on the same subject, seraphinite, named after the seraphim archangels, is a lovely green ray crystal that, just like the other two mentioned, as in the holy trinity of healing frequencies, is a fantastic round up full light body healer that works very diligently and very quickly to dismantle any patterns of dis-ease through the entire chakra column, which of course is the entire cellular structure, transfers to the nerve ganglia, and the three together are the holy trinity of healing crystals, literally employed in virtually all constructs for their versatile practical effects of good vibrations. So that'd be the agates right here. Okay. It's a lot to talk about, so I must consistently clear my throat, because it is quite a great amount of to cover, obviously, and keep coherent and linear and comprehensible. This right here is a very special pseudo-hematoid called Prophecy Stone. Prophecy Stone is a fantastic, interesting metal crystal found in Libya, and the gentleman who found it had a massive prophetic vision that he was not expecting, so it's why it has the name Prophecy Stone. So since it's an iron-based metal right here, with also metals that are not found on our periodic table, which actually technically makes it partially a space metal composite, also has a very strong grounding of high-frequency energy, as well as a nice clearing capacity to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and non-physical chakras. So it makes another nice high vibrational boost right there for this entire closed-loop contained circuit. Then right here would be fulgurite. Fulgurite is literally the power of lightning caught in sand. So when lightning strikes sand, it carries the energy of lightning strike, which is very powerful energy of utilization by First Nation shamans of old as a spirit tool to intensify their prayers back to Creator. So by resonating and harnessing and aligning with the frequency of lightning, it makes one's intentions for particularly abundance, for example, and their prayers to be dramatically intensified with literally the power of lightning. As also serves as a fantastic full light body swimming, because literally it's the mimicking the power of lightning, which is very exciting and very enlightening to the entire energy field, and works very quickly to, once again, with lightning fast speed, burn off stagnancies of the work field that be impeding a natural healthy flow. Particularly with the aspect of having such a well-contained grounding unit and stabilization, it brings a lot of enthusiastic, positive, powerful lightning energy with a very strong grounded platform. That's why I once again stress the importance of the transmutation ratio seen right here, being a fantastic contingency to, of course, encourage the excess energy simulation of this very complex, high vibrational device to be firmly grounded into the earth for comfortability and tangibility and efficiency. Then right here is a lovely specimen of kunzite, much like seen right here, just a nice little raw dose of the lithium-based pink ray soothing love frequency, which is very advantageous under any circumstance being a human. Then over here would be a very special variety of serpentine called infinitite, which works as a full serpentine kundalini stimulant as well. So basically any kind of stagnancies, once again, like mentioned before, many of these crystals have the same theme, hence they're employed in the same apparatus, just as a quick preface. So the aspect of infinitite right here works to decrystallize any patterns of blockages, particularly from lower three, and the entire light body, activating a full continuity, clearing, surging, and insulation effect. So the aspect is very infectious. Also at infinitite, it works to insulate the auric field from any kind of undesirable stray energies that would dysregulate and destabilize and also contribute to aspects of anxiety. So the aspect of this guy right here works very firmly to clear the root chakra of any impediments, to firmly ground into Mother Earth, to mitigate the vibrational patterns of anxiety in its own way as well. Then right here is clear calcite, which is a nice neutral, full spectrum, clear of negativity, basically any kind of stagnant energies, once again, of the entire spectrum as well. In tandem with oceanic calcite, which is a specimen from the ocean I gathered myself off the Oregon coast that has the indelible mark of the ocean clearing. So the aspect of this stone crystal being tumbled by the ocean, and luckily it's already a calcite nature, works to, of course, bring that oceanic clearing energy through the entire auric field through its own clearing focus. Then right here is amazonite, a very fantastic feldspar-based blue ray crystal that stimulates the 4th and 5th chakras for one's true, clear, truth communication. Then right here is black tektite, to be a tremendous black ray, product of a nickel iron meteorite impacting sand, carrying that extraterrestrial jolt into creation. So the aspect of black tektite makes for a fantastic, thank goodness, black ray, vibrational ground-up fortification of the entire auric field to literally raise vibrations through the entire structure from, once again, thank goodness, black up by mimicking that cosmic impact into Earth of that extraterrestrial energy entering the Earth plane. So that's a very fantastic way to raise the vibratory threshold of the entire device, but once again, I can't emphasize enough the importance of having a strong, grounded foundation of the black ray here to raise vibrations of the entire auric field, to raise the threshold of the entire device as a whole. Then this right here would be larimar. Larimar is a very fantastic, soothing, hence it's been employed up here as well. It's also a very beautiful stone. Larimar is a fantastic 5th and 6th chakra stimulant of extreme oasis of calm, highest truth, soothing capacity. So a lot of these aspects of this construct have extreme soothing capacity that would be very encouraging to one's natural abundance energy pattern. That would be very much indicative of who they are in creation, in connection to creation. That is before the learned implementation of being a human and having an identity is learned to encourage one's highest truth in calm grace, essentially. Then right here, speaking of highest truth, another very classic stone of antiquity, lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is a very, very famous crystal that's literally a favorite of millions for thousands of years, particularly that of ancient Egypt utilization, of being a fantastic royal 5th and 6th chakra stimulant of wind elemental variety to encourage one's highest truth in connection to who they really are in their soul journey. And so that aspect also works to empower one's siddhis or psychic gifts to be in alignment with their sovereign nature. Hence, it's a stone of ancient antiquity and royalty. It's quite notarized, as well as here's another piece of fulgurite, much like the other side over here, to further intensify any prayer wavelengths with lightning force of the abundant spectrum. And that would be the entirety of the engine that will once again be concealed once this video is done. So God willing, these will never be see the light of day again, because that means that this maintained its functionality and stayed installed and is living happily ever after with the recipient and her family. Alrighty. So I'll go ahead and discuss the thumb engagement first things first. So starting off with the lapis lazuli, like just mentioned right here, another fantastic, strong 5th chakra, highest truth fortification to keep one's mental body very clear in resonance with the spectrum of abundance. Then clear course to work as a neutral accelerant of the energy in this closed loop circuit for the thumb engagement, which obviously is designed for the thumb to engage. Very self-evident saying that, but this is what its function is. To give the thumb a good strong focus point to engage the construct. Then, of course, the classic amethyst, a very popular crystal of purification, being a very lovely violet purple crown chakra stimulant of one's divine connection made manifest. So, of course, that brings a nice little divine transmutation purification by alignment of one's higher self-consciousness in that capacity. And the very center of this entire thumb engagement is a very special crystal called prehnite. Prehnite is a very fantastic third and fourth chakra stimulant of great soothing capacity of both water and earth to bring extreme calming and healing, nourishing frequencies into the auric field and dismantle any patterns of consistent records playing out that'd be very uncomfortable for the recipient in that regard, which puts one very smoothly into the abundance ratio, essentially. And so in that aspect as well, is it makes for a fantastic alignment to Raphael the Archangel, in my humble opinion, being one of the finest natural analog frequency attunement to the Raphael force, the seraphim of great green ray healing. So that obviously is a very helpful frequency to have aligned and a very strong green ray rendition. Oh, before I continue, so this green leather, of course, is very functional, more than just aesthetics. It also works to insulate the blade bands now concealed, going down to here, as well as being a very strong green ray heart chakra stimulation for the entirety of the device, which puts it in the abundance spectrum by design, like its siblings before it. And so that aspect also serves to be aesthetic. Of course, it looks very like a completed construct at that point, but it is, once again, like everything else here, actually is functional more than just looks. The looks are almost like not really the biggest priority for me. I guess it's repetition of my life's work that make it more aesthetically pleasing in people's opinion. Anyway, enough of my personal commentary. Now I'll go ahead and discuss the blade facing scene right here. So these guys right here are actually symmetrical as absolute possible to have a very even vibration on both the left and right side of the construct from the perspective of engaging the thumb, like so. So right here, once again, Larimar, seen on both sides, is a very fantastic fifth chakra soothing oasis of calm generator, which of course really alleviates the mental body of extreme strain from overstimuli. Hence, it's pretty much one of the most quintessential anti-anxiety frequencies I utilize as well for this exact purpose of being extreme soothing sovereign capacity of basically oceanic energy. Very, very practical and also very effective for increasing the fifth chakra's voice capacity to speak clearly and to, of course, have clarity of mind as well. Very helpful in that rendition. Then right here would be the yang to the abundance ratio. So with this high green ray intake of the heart chakra being the yin, the intake of this energy, the yang is seen in the sunstone, which is a very nice solar plexus and sacrum stimulant to bring extreme joy and positivity for the outputs of abundance, which complements the natural high intake of the abundance ratio that has been developed to be a very powerful quintessential frequency of abundance emanation, that is that primary directed broadcast. So the aspect of the sunstone works very effectively to increase the positivity of feeling good in the abundance spectrum as well. Because, of course, when your vibrations feel good, of course, that encourages more good things to happen. It's just positivity begets positivity by based on your vibration. So that's why that's there on virtually all abundance constructs for that distinct intensive purpose to be a perfect yang to the yin to the green ray, seen right here. Then once again, this is another specimen of lepidolite. Lepidolite is a very special, like I said, lithium potassium based crystal that brings perhaps the most soothing emanation to the mental physical body in the mineral kingdom. I've developed many of these constructs named Serenity for this purpose, and they've not to let me down. They actually have performed very admirably for the aspects of being tremendous anti-anxiety frequency emanation, seen right here as part of the entire broadcast. Then right here on both sides is a very special variety of a crystal named scolasite, which oftentimes is more opaque and not as clear. So the fact that I'm able to utilize very clear specimens of this very rarefied crystal is quite advantageous for this goal as well. Scolasite is perhaps the most effective 6th, 7th, 8th, and all the 9 physical chakras back to one's Godhead, but particularly the aspect of one's divine mind connected to the conscious self. It is perhaps one of the most soothing divine connectors in the entire mineral kingdom, and it quintessentially is my go-to crystal for the purposes of any divinity constructs or concepts like that to engage one's connection to God in a very soothing manner. So this is also a very fantastic crystal of extreme peace and inner peace, and just a wonderful divine boon of good vibrations, to put it quite simply. At the very apex of this blade seen right here underneath this blade band is also a specimen of blue kyanite. Well, actually, I'll get into the kyanites all in one shot like I usually do. I'll go ahead, in that case, I'll discuss the focalizers first things first before I continue forward. So the aspect of taking this entire figure 8, that's a closed-loop reactive circuit, these are developed right here to actually take the energy of the focus of the design and actually give it a broadcast focus of these focalizers of titanium ore quartz and Lemurian quartz seen right here. So the aspect of having this entire figure 8 running on its perpetual closed-loop reactive circuit, of course, is fantastic to have the recirculation, but these guys right here are grounded into the primary wire, grounded above the primary blade band to give the energy extreme sharp focus. So, starting off with titanium ore quartz seen right here, which actually is a man-made alchemical mineral of pressure coating titanium to clear quartz. Titanium quartz, though, has that titanium frequency of great invincibility and strength that works very effective to activate the entire rainbow light body, as well as insulate and protect the field from any stray energies to encourage one's inner reserves and sovereign strength, to, of course, encourage the fortification of the entire energy, as well as takes the back end of this frequency right here and gives it a tremendous amount of strength to the intentional focus of the Lemurian clear quartz, which, just like mentioned a while ago now, the main heart of the construct is Lemurian clear quartz to be a neutral, ambient, programmable carrier to, of course, have the recipient put prayers or resonance in there to encourage that vibration to manifest. And the aspect also of clear quartz being a most neutral ambient energy accelerant is that it takes the entirety of this focus device and gives it a neutral broadcast, seen much like so, to, once again, like for example, a buddy out here, this sacred one-legged, to take the entire overture of this device and broadcast it and direct it and ground it into, get the perspective right for the video's sake, to ground into this sacred one-legged scene right there, to encourage the transference of this entire energy to be focused and broadcasted. And the aspect I oftentimes say for last would be the kyanites and selenites in this entire video. So this where, of course, it gets a little complicated, but it works for a very good comprehensive capstone. So the aspect of selenite I'll mention right now. Selenite is quite the fantastic master healer in its own right in the mineral kingdom, and selenite is a very fantastic 6th, 7th, 8th, all the non-physical chakras back to one's divine conscious higher self connection to creation. So it works very fantastic as a gateway to one's higher divinity. And as well as it works as a fantastic high frequency transmutation by high frequency divine induction to burn off sting energies through the entire field. That would be disrupting natural flow as well. So it's quite the powerful master, versatile, utilized crystal of that matter as well. But the aspect where it really shines in any given light tech device, hence it's an absolute staple for virtually all constructs I utilize this for. So the aspect of this nearly 33 minutes of me ranting to myself with the cell phone, talking about all these crystals in a closed loop circuit, it does this. In a closed loop circuit, it can take all these crystals, mention this entire 33 minutes, just about. It can purify all of these crystals in a closed loop emanation. It can also work to amplify or intensify the entire group of crystals, but most importantly perhaps, it also brings harmony and equilibrium to the entire pitch. So let me sum that up in the triumphant trifecta. So this entire crystal group of abundance so far mentioned can be purified, amplified, and harmonized in that perpetual circuit of this entire device, besides it being a tremendous clearer of negativity in as well. So it indeed is quite the pivotal crowning jewel for any construct, is that particular feature of that tremendous purification, divine alignment frequency as well. And next I'll be discussing the kyanites, seen in black, orange, green, and blue of the 4 spectrums I have readily available, as well as a nice blue one at the end to be very specific. So, kyanites, before I go any further, are the most rapid transfers of energy in the mineral kingdom, so I'll be doing this pretty quickly to whimsically emphasize the function of kyanite in the energy body system. Black kyanite is the most rapid grounder of energy through the root chakra into the earth as quick as possible, which works as a fantastic surge protector, as also another contingency to make the magic real and actually ground it into reality, so the new pathways energy shift a timeline for manifestation. So the aspect also of orange kyanite right here works very quickly to charge the sacrum, the creativity chakra, to the highest capacity in alignment with one's divine connection at a very quick rate, as well as green kyanite makes very rapid transfers of heart chakra connection to alternate aspects of reality. Then the blue kyanite, seen right here, the heavier dose, also makes for a very fantastic third eye stimulation of the right and left hemispheres in alignment to mitigate cross interference that would be basically impeding one's divine conscious alignment, which is the natural human condition to have cross interference to obstruct that. So that aspect too, of course, brings clear thinking, clear thoughts, and most importantly, perhaps for this entire construct, it also brings rapid transferability of this entire abundance wavelength into functional focus. And in that aspect as well, it works very quickly, much like a third Teflon, kind of like the transmutation ratio, with such rapid diffusing reroutes of energy going consistently, any stagnant energies would have a very hard, difficult time be stuck in the field based on rapid transmutation to reroute the energy and transmute it, ground it out, buffer it out. It makes for a very reactive, quick frequency that aligns the energy to the ideal God blueprint factory setting, essentially. So I believe that would be the entirety of the crystalline composition. So as a capstone, this would be the 29th rendition of the abundance ratio that has performed quite admirably this time since 2025 is rolled around. And quite simply, it's a very versatile full light body activator that is designed to activate and stabilize the entire chakra column in all spectrums with particularly a very heavy concentration of one's heart chakra abundance ratio being the highlight focus. Hence it has the name abundance, it's the archetypal name, and it has the crystalline composition to back that archetypal concept in a closed loop reactive circuit with this little piece of consciousness assisted technology in that capacity. Well, that would basically be abundance number 29. 1,000 blessings, and may the force be with us all.